I watched Stranger Things. Season 5's trailer at 0.25x speed, and what I found is insane. There's way more going on than Netflix wants you to notice. Today, I'll be going over every hidden detail found in the trailer. The Stranger Things 5 trailer opens with a wide, lingering shot of the downtown library inside the Upside Down. Lightning flickers across the red sky, glowing deep through the foggy air. The red hue is the first thing that stands out. In earlier seasons, the Upside Down was filled with blue and gray tones, but this time, the red dominates the whole sky. The scene feels older, colder, and more still than anything we've seen before. There's no movement, no sound, just that eerie storm pulsing like a heartbeat. This library isn't new to us. It's the same one where Will was found at the end of Season 1. That connection is clear right away. It almost feels like we're being pulled backward in time, back to 1983, to the moment when all of this first began. The lighting, the stillness, even the camera angle echoes that first disappearance. It's like the series is folding in on itself, returning to its roots one last time before everything comes to an end. The camera drifts through the library's interior. Dust floats in the air. The shelves are half collapsed, their books scattered and eaten away. Then we see movement, a Demogorgon bowing low, its head tilted downward, moving out of someone's way. But who? From the shadows in front of it, Vecna steps into view. His silhouette fills the frame before the light catches his face. His voice cuts through the silence, low, sharp, and deliberate. "At long last," he says, "we can begin." The camera cuts closer. We see a shot of Vecna's hand, charred and veined, hanging by his side. He starts to walk forward, slow and measured. On the floor ahead of him lies a young Will Byers, unconscious or paralyzed. Vecna moves closer. The moment feels final, like something the story has been leading toward for years. Then right before Vecna reaches Will, the first notes of Who Wants to Live Forever by Queen begin to play. The song rises slowly, almost hauntingly, as Vecna stops in front of him. The screen fades to black, and the Netflix logo flashes in red. It's a short trailer opening, but it says a lot, and it ties the story back to the beginning and confirms the link between Vecna and Will. The red storm, the return to the library, the choice of song, all of it points toward unfinished business. And in the show's reminding us that what began with Will in Season 1 is now coming full circle. The next sequence opens on Dustin biking into school. His expression is serious. The morning light hits his face as he pedals through the parking lot. He walks through the front doors and steps into the hallway. The camera moves with him, keeping him centered as the background shifts from familiar to tense. This is still Hawkins High, but something's changed. At first, the lighting is normal. The sounds of chatter and lockers slamming are still there, but soldiers now stand guard near the entrances, their rifles slung at their sides. Their presence turns a normal school into a controlled zone. At first glance, this scene might seem simple, a student walking to class, but that small background detail says everything. Hawkins isn't free anymore. The military is here and they're not leaving. The town has become a place under watch, a quarantine zone disguised as normal life. The trailer then cuts to an aerial shot of downtown Hawkins. The streets are silent. Barricades and military vehicles line the roads. You can see metal plates welded across the old rift zones. The whole town looks frozen in time. Still, but not safe. This confirms that the rifts from the end of Season 4 never closed. Instead, the military contained them, building walls and fences around the danger instead of destroying it. Hawkins isn't a town anymore. It's a containment site. The people inside are trapped, surrounded, and cut off from the rest of the world. The next shot reveals the roof of WSQK, the local radio station that's now the group's base of operations. If you want to learn more about that, check out our other video explaining WSQK in depth. The scene fades in during sunset, the sky glowing orange and red over the horizon. Mike and 11 sit side by side on the edge of the roof, overlooking the town below. The air between them is quiet. They don't look like heroes. They look tired, lost in thought. Mike breaks the silence. "We're really starting to lose it," he says. "Being stuck in here, no end in sight." That single line grounds the whole trailer. It's not about monsters or battles. It's about isolation. Hawkins is under full quarantine. The group can't leave, can't contact anyone outside, and has no idea if help is ever coming. The trailer then cuts to a checkpoint scene. The camera pans across a tall chain-link fence lined with floodlights. Armed soldiers patrol it. Trucks and armored vehicles block the road, sealing it off. The Mike and 11 rooftop scene feels small compared to the military shots, but it carries more emotional weight. It shows us the human side of the lockdown. The boredom, the fear, the creeping sense that life may never return to normal. You can feel that strain in their voices and the silence that follows the line. The next few shots move faster, cutting between moments across Hawkins and beyond. We see Joyce, Hopper, and 11 deep inside one of the old upside-down tunnels from Season 2. The walls as once living vines are now gray and brittle. Everything looks decayed and cold. It's as if even the upside-down itself is dying. Then the trailer jumps to Jonathan and others inside WSQK's main broadcast room. Jonathan reaches behind a bookcase and slides it aside, revealing a hidden hatch leading underground. It's clear this space has become a secret base. The next shot shows the full group: Will, Jonathan, Mike, Dustin, Lucas, Robin, Steve, Nancy, and Joyce standing around a table planning something called the Turnbow Trap. If you pause and look closely, you can see the WSQK van on the table, in the form of a Dungeons & Dragons piece. In this single frame you can feel how far they've come. The kids who once played D&D in a basement are now facing the real thing. The setting might be darker and the stakes much higher, but the essence is the same. It's still them, still the group, fighting back together. These moments show how the group has adapted. They're not running anymore, they're organizing. The bunker beneath WSQK gives them a base, a headquarters, a way to coordinate. It also shows that they're taking cues from their old games, turning strategy into survival. The use of D&D pieces is a callback, but it's also symbolic. It's how they make sense of chaos. The monsters are real now, but they still fight them the same way they did as kids, together with a plan. The next sequence shows 11 in action. She uses her powers to launch herself over a guarded fence into a secured area. Then she lands on the roof of a laboratory, sliding to a stop. This lab appears to belong to Dr. K, located inside the Upside Down. It's a key location. The fencing, the guards, and the energy around it show that this is no ordinary facility. What's striking is how active 11 is. She's not being chased this time. She's breaking in. It's a reversal of her usual role. The military may have control over Hawkins, but 11 is still the one force that can move freely between both worlds. This sequence signals that the Upside Down isn't hidden anymore. It's being explored, maybe even used. 11's mission shows us that the season's conflicts are now out in the open. Next we see a drone shot of the WSQK van racing through the dirt path toward the radio station. The speed, the camera movement, and the urgency of the shot make it clear something has gone wrong. Inside WSQK, Joyce sits beside an unconscious Will. Mike stands behind her, watching silently. Joyce looks tired and scared. This moment seems to come from episode 5, after the battle at the downtown militarized zone. Will is down. The group looks shaken. Whatever happened outside has taken a toll. It's one of those rare, quiet moments in the chaos. A reminder of how much these characters have endured. Every time they think the fight is over, something new pulls them back in. The next shot is easy to miss if you watch it fast, but slowing it down shows a lot. Mike places 2 Dungeons & Dragons figures on a map. The first is a paladin, his own role. The second is a ranger, Lucas's role. Both are positioned at the Hawkins Presbyterian Church downtown. This tells us their next mission. Earlier footage showed Mike and Lucas biking together during what's known as the Burn Mission at the end of episode 1. Now we see where they were going. If you look closer at the map, you can spot small notes in the top corner. One says M16 supply run, another looks like no contact. There's also section B4, which matches the larger map seen in the WSQK bunker. These details give us context. The group's operations are detailed, almost military. They're tracking zones, supply routes, and missions. But at the same time, they still use their old D&D figures to mark the map. That's what keeps it grounded. It's still the same group of friends, facing the impossible in their own way. Next comes one of the trailer's most striking moments. Nancy and Jonathan stand in front of a red glowing entity. It pulses with energy, like a living gate. This could be the portal to Dimension X, the realm where Henry Creel was banished after the events at Hawkins' lab. When matched with old footage, it looks like this scene takes place on the roof of the lab itself. The same structure, the same lighting, but now distorted by energy. Moments later, we see energy waves shooting out from that spot. They ripple across Hawkins, spreading through the air. Hopper stands nearby, staring at another church, different from the downtown one. This one sits next to the massive vine wall shown in the earlier teasers. It looks like the very edge of the Upside Down. The next scene shows a figure falling through Dimension X. When slowed down, we can identify her as Holly Wheeler. The environment around her is twisted and red, with floating debris. The next shot cuts to Jonathan, Dustin, Will, Lucas, and 11 in a group hug. Everyone looks relieved and exhausted. Behind them, Vicky Dunn stands quietly, almost hidden in the frame. This combination of shots, Holly falling, the group embracing, suggests a mix of loss and victory. Whatever happens in Dimension that connects to this moment, these are the final stage emotions of a group that's been through everything together. It might even be from the finale. The clothes, the lighting, the exhaustion, it all fits the pattern of Stranger Things endings. Hope, but at a cost. Next is one of the most intense moments in the trailer. Lucas holds Max inside an elevator at Hawkins Memorial Hospital. She's weak and he's trying to protect her as a Demodog charges toward them. This scene comes from episode 6, directed by Sean Levy. The pacing, the lighting, the desperation, it's classic Stranger Things suspense. Lucas looks terrified but determined. It's a reminder that even with all the larger conflicts happening, the emotional center of the show remains the same, saving the people you care about. The trailer ends with its most chilling and memorable image. The camera fades in slowly, revealing Vecna standing in the real world, the right side up. For the first time, he's no longer confined to the Upside Down. His form is different now, more decayed yet more powerful. His entire body is wrapped in thick, pulsing vines that coil around him like armor. Beneath the vines, we can see the outline of a skeleton, what's left of the human shape he once had. The detail is disturbing. It looks as though the human part of Vecna is long gone or replaced by something entirely alien. For a moment, we see him in full. He's standing in the middle of an empty downtown Hawkins, the world around him still and silent. The streetlights flicker. It's a visual reminder that the barrier between worlds is finally broken. Vecna has crossed over. The Upside Down has spilled into Hawkins completely. In front of him lies Will Byers, unconscious, his body limp on the ground. Vecna's power begins to pull Will toward him. The movement is slow, deliberate, and almost graceful, like a puppet being lifted by invisible strings. Will floats upward, suspended midair. Vecna's voice enters then, cold and steady. He says, "William, you're going to help me one last time." The delivery is calm but cruel. There's no rage, no shouting. It's worse than that, it's certain. It's a command, not a plea. In the Spanish dub, this same line shifts slightly in meaning. It translates to, "William, you're going to help me. You'll have to spy one last time." That word, spy, changes everything. It pulls us directly back to Will's story in Season 2, when he was possessed and used as a vessel for the Mind Flayer's eyes and ears. Back then, he couldn't control what he saw or what he did. Now Vecna is making it clear that he intends to use that connection again. This isn't a new beginning, it's a return. The line ties the entire series together. The same boy who started the story, who was taken into the Upside Down and turned into its unwilling messenger, is once again the center of the plan. Vecna's words confirm that Will has never truly escaped. His link to the Mind Flayer, to the Hive, and to Vecna himself has always been there, waiting. The final image is simple but devastating, Vecna holding Will suspended in midair. Then the music reaches a climax and the screen cuts to black. And that's everything you can spot when you slow the Stranger Things 5 trailer down to 0.2 0.5x speed. Every frame ties back to something from the past. The red lightning, the library, the map, all point toward a story that's coming full circle. This season isn't just about ending the fight, it's about going back to where it began, finishing the story of Will, and closing the gates once and for all. If you enjoyed this breakdown, check out our video on WSQK, the group's new radio station base, and how it connects to the larger story of Hawkins, and make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.